So I had an old Shelby steering wheel that was pretty beat up and I wanted to put it on my '89, quote, Shelby Lancer, end quote. I refinished it with Sim Trim Black and set about cleaning all the gunk off of it. Not half bad, eh? Alright, now on to showing you guys how to install one of these yourself. It's pretty quick and easy, and if you have the right tools lying around it shouldn't take much time at all. First you'll have to remove the horn pad or airbag, whichever your car came with. Heed the warnings in regard to airbags, especially since our cars came with the more powerful airbags that'll decapitate you. Be sure to save it for later if you want to reinstall your old wheel, or just blow it up in a parking lot with some 9-volt batteries and 2 wires. As this car came with just a horn pad, it was only 3 screws to access the nut holding it down. It's 21mm on these cars and comes off pretty easily with a 1/2-inch drive ratchet. I generally prefer an impact to remove them, but my garage is a mess right now, so this was easier. With the nut removed, you can see the 2 threaded holes in the stud that the adapter will slide over. Carefully thread the proper size bolts that came with your steering wheel puller into the holes after putting them through the tool. Next, you'll be able to crank off the wheel by tightening the bolt in the middle of the puller. On a rare occasion, they'll be difficult to start, but once you budget, you'll be off to the races. Well, this was a first for me. The splines on the column weren't the best, so it was a much tighter fit than I'd seen ever before. The adapter and the shaft are keyed, so the adapter only fits on one way, and if you have trouble, make sure to double check that you have things lined up perfectly. Once I had the adapter started down the shaft, I used the nut to sink it down the rest of the way until it was tight. Don't ground that wire or you'll set off the horn, and give a quick check that there isn't too much of a gap between the adapter and the column. Now it's time to install the wheel. I like to thread 3 or 4 of the bolts on before starting one of them down. I'll make sure that the taper is centered into the recess in the wheel and then move on to one across from it the same way you would tighten lug nuts. I've seen a lot of wheels chipped and scratched over the years from people carelessly installing them, so let's avoid that today. The horn button's straightforward. Just attach the wire for the horn and press it in after depressing the metal clip piece. All that's left to do is sit back and admire the new Shelby wheel on your car. It's a big improvement for a very small effort.